are back. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with the always lovely and talented Andrea Kay.
Thank you.
The always incredible Urban Miaris. No answer there?
No.
Good morning.
He's so used to being called incredible.
I had a sip of coffee. I'm sorry.
And we have our first in-studio guest of the day, somebody I've known for a long time. Welcome, Ron Sahmel from Sahmel Associates.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks, all. Glad to be here today.
Great. So tell us a little bit about Sahmel Associates. What do you do?
We're certified public accountants located in the Bankers Hill, Balboa Park area of town, specializing in tax planning, strategic operations and planning and advising, as well as, of course, tax preparation.
Great. Well, inside story is I've worked with Ron for probably 10 years or better now, something like that. And I know the quality of his work. I know I never have a problem taking any of my clients down there because they're always well taken care of. So
personal testimony there.
Yeah, you know what? I tell it like it is. You know me. So anyway, so your background. Let's start out a little bit with your background. It hasn't always been Sahmel Associates, has it?
It has not. It has not. Actually, I'm a local San Diego boy, pretty much. Been here since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
I'm a San Diego State grad, School of Business, 1977.
Yay, Aztecs.
Hey, that's right. And actually, I started my career with Considine & Considine, a very large local, the largest local.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're the largest local firm, I thought.
Very good firm, outstanding outfit. I was there for 11 years and actually departed and teamed up with a couple of our former partners. I was up actually here in UTC for about 15 years until 2007, which I relocated down to Bankers Hill.
Great. So you have a strong background in tax. Tell us, different accounting firms work differently. I'm sure you do a lot of personal taxes, but I think your focus is small business. Am I correct?
We are focused on small businesses. One of the things that we do is we have a flat fee for service pricing concept. So what we do is we'll give you a quote, give you a range of fees that your business tax returns and planning and advising will fall within. And what that does is gives you access to us throughout the year for things that will come up, day-to-day questions, operational questions, or just brainstorming sessions that the client would like to have.
Define small business. What does that mean? How many employees, annual revenue? Small
business really can be anywhere from a couple of $100,000 of revenue all the way up to maybe $50 million. The spot that we shine, we see a lot of small, like what we call small businesses, are the 500,000 to 5 million or so. We see a lot. It's a gross revenue. We see a lot of those kind of small businesses, which could translate into as few as maybe 2 or 3 employees, all the way up to 25, 50 or more.
Interesting. Well, I know one of the things we talked about is because we're involved with a lot of people in the real estate community that you have a specialist or specialty that you've worked with people in real estate for a long time. Am I correct?
You are correct. And it's kind of hard in San Diego not to be have worked with real estate investors and entrepreneurs. But we do work with individual owners of properties that they may work in other jobs or other careers and may own rental properties, both residential and commercial. And we also work with real estate professionals, not only with their real estate, but with their operational companies in maximizing their taxation strategies, as well as their operational efficiencies, and working as part of our team with a fellow like Barry Waxler and his team, his financial team, with the lawyers, with the other advisors as part of a professional team.
What about the nonprofit sector? Do you work with them?
Urban, thank you. Yes, actually we do. Surprisingly in San Diego, there are somewhere in the range of about 100,000 people employed by nonprofits, and that particular fact actually blew me away. I had no idea.
We're about 9% of the labor force here.
It's huge, and there must be, I think there's about 8,000 or 10,000 nonprofits just in San Diego County alone.
Wow, I had no idea there was that many.
Yeah, there are quite a few. So we do work with nonprofits. Again, Usually what we'll do is we'll assist them with their accounting systems, making sure that they have adequate bookkeeping and financial advising. We coordinate with their controllers or their CFOs, and ultimately we do produce the tax returns and all of the governmental filings.
So you don't necessarily replace the in-house accounting department. You're more of a consultant, advisor role? We're
the outhouse CPAs that actually do the overview advising, the day-to-day question and answering that they internally, their internal accountants will have questions and needs from an external accountant. And then, of course, the tax return preparation is another part of the
Do you get involved with audits? Because I know nonprofits, I think it's $2 million or more they have to have an audit.
We actually do not provide the certified audit reports. No, that is one area that we're not focusing on.
Interesting. One of the things we talked about recently, connecting up with some of our close connections, is how we deal with tax credits. And I know that Ron, you put the tax credits in the right place, obviously, when they come in. But there's also an art to finding tax credits, and that's why we outsource to third parties to do that. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So and that's one thing I wanted our listeners to know, because they hear so much about tax credits on this show. Ron, why don't you give us the accountant's view of what's the difference between a tax credit and a tax deduction?
Tax deductions are reductions of your income, and then that particular resulting net income is then taxed at a graduated tax rate. A tax credit actually reduces the resulting tax itself. So think of tax credits actually as money, not as deductions subject to a graduated rate structure.
That's like a coupon or something.
Yeah, it's like you can get a discount pass, or you can get a free pass. Okay, the deductions are the discount pass to the movies, and if you take a tax credit there, you're getting them to buy the ticket altogether.
I like that. Yeah.
I like it too.
Yeah, the tax credit comes right off your bottom line tax obligation. It's not a deduction in arriving at your tax obligation, so it's a 100% credit.
Wow.
Well, one of the things that I recommend to clients a lot is, let's do some studies and see what type of, and because these studies are free. Okay, let's do some studies, and I say free. I'm not trying to give away your money, Ron. So, the tax credit companies that specialize in this come in and take a look at your books, take a look at your habits, your behaviors, and they do it all for free to find what it is. And when they get the credits, then they'll charge you a fee for that. But doesn't tax credit planning fit right in with the rest of your strategic planning?
Absolutely, it does. The two largest areas that I see right now are the tax credits available to the enterprise zone tax areas within San Diego, as well as hiring tax credits for specialized either disadvantaged or special hiring folks like veterans and or disabled folks.
The veterans piece is huge because, you sat with Eve back in the green room here, and she'll be on with us a little bit later. But Eve works with nothing but veterans and veteran employers, and there's a lot of money sitting on the table, for employers to recoup that they don't even know about.
I agree. And your typical CPA, our firm included, are not as well versed as the staffing companies or the folks that specialize in those tax credit areas. So I really recommend that clients work with qualified professionals.
Great. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com, or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with Andrea Kay, Urban Miaris, and our guest is Ron Sahmel from Sahmel Associates, certified public accountants in Bankers Hill.
Can I put you guys both on the spot?
Go.
How does a financial planner and a CPA firm work together as part of a team for anybody?
Okay.
Because they don't seem necessarily part of the same world.
By sheer coincidence, Ron and I had that conversation just about a week or two ago.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
Yep. So, it's interesting. And, Ron, I'll let you start out, and then I'll fill in the lines. How's that?
Okay. So we're the taxation experts. what we do with a qualified financial advisor like Barry and his team is we will look at the client's financial portfolio as well as their taxation portfolio. We'll coordinate the two together, and we're looking to optimize their tax savings as well as looking for things in the financial, like, for instance, Barry and I were working on a case. Barry was very familiar with the family and the real estate holdings that this particular family owned. He knew that there were some underlying events that had occurred at one or two of the properties that required a large amount of improvements and or repairs.
Okay.
So what we did was Barry threw this out to me and pitched this idea is, why couldn't we do something unique maybe in maximizing the deductions available to these particular families utilizing a family structure that he was more tuned into than I was.
Okay.
So we had a meeting with our client. We coordinated our ideas and bounced them off, and we're ready to roll them out to the other parts of the family.
And the main reason for that was because this was a real estate-related transaction. If Andrea, let's just say you're probably a bad example for this because, Jim is in the real estate business. Mm-hmm. If you're a real estate hobbyist, you own one or two properties and you do stuff here, that's a hobbyist. It doesn't matter how much of a profession you try to make it, it's still considered a hobby by the Internal Revenue Service.
Okay.
Yet Jim is considered a real estate professional based on his real estate development practice. Okay. Well, in the case of this family, we had a son, that they worked together with on properties up in Los Angeles. And he was a full-time real estate professional. So we were able to utilize the benefits of full-time real estate within the family content that was considered hobbyist. So we just connected the dots. And I can tell you that based on what we've done there, we will probably, Ron, what do you think will save them tax-wise on all that, seeing how they have a lot of losses sitting at their corporation?
Probably $70,000 between the federal and state in 1 year.
Wow.
And and how much of that would have come about if we didn't collaborate?
Most of it, virtually none of it would have come about.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why, a lot of people out there don't see the, some people don't see the value of the tax accounting firm. Some people don't see the value of the financial planning firm. But when you put the two together, it creates a synergy that's just, it multiplies the benefit. I look all outside the box to try to find the solutions and give it to Ron and say, Ron, how does that fit inside the box? Okay. And he'll say, this one doesn't work, that one doesn't work, but this one does. And we team up and we do great things for people.
Is it mostly a real estate-based situation, or are there other scenarios that it works for as well?
Well, what do you think, Ron?
It works for any scenario. Let me give you another example that Barry and I have worked on. This particular client had a lot of equity built up in his business and was looking to diversify his financial holdings. So what he did was he was able to access some of those funds and looked into purchasing and acquiring various types of insurance to meet various needs that he would have. Barry would have the team available that would properly advise him on proper choice of insurancing and the proper types to use. I was looking at tax deductions availability at the corporate level and or the individual level and trying to maximize the taxation impacts.
Yeah. So, I remember a gentleman by the name of Art Bartlett taught me this. Art Bartlett was the guy who started Century 21 back in 1971. And the first time I met him, he said, do you guys know what the word synergy means? Okay, and today it's a very commonly used word. It wasn't back then. And synergy is very simply how, you take two people working together can accomplish infinitely more than two people working on separate paths. Okay, that's synergy. Okay, and that's how a good planner and a good accountant work well together. So
awesome.
So tell me, when people look to plan, and we talked about the real estate industry, and I think real estate industry is famous for I put them in the box that's a poor term, but I put them in the box for, they come into you on April 14th and drop their shoebox of receipts in there, and they say, "What do I do, Ron?" Okay, and you advocate planning well in advance. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Very good. Let me give you a real day-to-day example that I see a lot of. A typical client of ours will have purchased a residence, acquired maybe one or two properties over the years, has converted a residence into a rental, and wants to either sell or exchange that property that's been converted to a rental. So they will need to know what the potential tax implications are. We'll need to know the potential tax-free or tax-deferred of benefits available as well. So doing that in advance will maximize the amount of cash flow that they have available, as well as minimizing their taxes and then identifying their taxes before they come into their accountant on April 14th or later in the year.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw it, we're running short on time, but I'll throw it out this way. If you walk into Ron's office on April 14th, your choices of what you can do are very well defined and very limited at that. If you walk into Ron's office on, let's say, November 30th or before then the world of choices are open to you. Especially
if you're there with them, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, for business owners out there, I come across it all the time. They sell their businesses and didn't realize the tax implication on it. Really, if you're thinking of selling your business, get with Barry and Ron right now and go over it before you put it on the market.
Great. Thanks. Well, Ron, before we go, tell our listeners how they find out more about you.
Well, we're located in Bankers Hill. Our address is 3033 Fifth Avenue. That's San Diego 92103. Our phone number is 619-295-0800, and you can check our website out at SahmelCPA.com. That's spelled S as in Sam, AHMEL CPA.com.
Great. Well, it's been fun. I've been waiting a long time to do this, and it's been fun. I thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Thank you, Ron.
Great. Yeah. This is Close Up on San Diego Business here at KCBQ, streaming live at AM1170theanswer.com. Send us a tweet at CloseUpSD or just find our page on Facebook. You can always email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com. Let me know what you think. I'm your host, Barry Waxler. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.